Aloha everyone, this is Dr. BethAnne. I am an author, intuitive psychologist, and an empath, and I craft content for highly sensitive spiritual souls, and we have been talking about the theme of self-acceptance for the month of September. And yesterday we were talking about how do we bring acceptance into parts of ourself that we don't like, and I said I would be talking more about how do we work with parts of ourself that we might not like today. So let's do that. So some of this is really psychologically based. This is something, if you don't know me personally, I am a psychologist, but I ran a private practice in Alaska for a number of years, and I'm no longer in private practice. I shifted my work to intuitive mentorship. But when I was actively practicing as a psychologist and doing therapy, one of the things I often did with clients is parts work. It's like internal family systems, and it's really understanding ourselves in a way of knowing that we all have many aspects and parts of ourselves. We have lots of different faces of self, if you will, spokes on our bicycle wheel, and they're all parts of who we are. And so part of fostering a really healthy, beautiful relationship with ourselves is to be able to understand like what part has something to say. And so sometimes what will happen is we'll be like bopping along in life and we'll be feeling pretty good, pretty in alignment, and then maybe something triggers us or upsets us and we have this reaction and we don't know where it came from. And a really helpful thing that you can ask yourself is, how old do I feel right now? Or what's being triggered inside of me, and really see if you can identify what part, what wound, if you will, what like unhealed aspect of self might be coming out in that moment. And when we identify those aspects of self, that's what allows us to work with them. Most of us don't like our wounded inner child. If you do, congratulations, kudos to you, you're further along than the rest of us. Most of us don't like that part of ourselves. That's a part that we can really struggle to love. Or if we have a part of ourselves that might feel like really envious or spiteful or jealous, like all of the shadow stuff, those parts of ourselves can feel really hard to love. I remember having a really broken-hearted summer. I was going through a breakup. It was in 2013, and I just felt wretched. Like I just couldn't get my shit together. I couldn't turn my frown upside down. I was really depressed. I was really heartbroken. I couldn't self-organize and move through it faster, and I really wanted to. I just sort of felt like wretched and pitiful. And that was when I really started having a big self-love epiphany, and that was that part of myself was just as lovable in the eyes of spirit as the part of myself that's really well organized and that's really well spoken and that's really articulate. Those broken parts of ourselves, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just not healed. They're pieces that got hurt along the way. They got hurt in this life, and I think karmically they got hurt in other lives. And when they come to the surface, it's an opportunity to bring healing to those aspects of self. In the eyes of spirit, we are like not doing better when we're rocking our A game and having a great day than we are when we're like not rocking our A game, and maybe we had a really awful day and I don't know, like we got drunk or ate too much food or chewed somebody out or just like in a ball of self-pity, and we know we should be doing better and we can't. That's the best we have to offer that day. Spirit loves us equally. We are equally whole and lovable in both of those settings, but our purpose for being on the planet is to heal ourselves. It's to bring those aspects of self to the surface, and it's to bring healing into them. So what we have to do in those moments when we recognize the kind of hard to love pieces of ourselves is we have to build a bridge to them. And we build a bridge by doing something that basically extends a hand to them. That is when it's really helpful to write a letter to that aspect of self. That is when we can use our imagination and picture like putting our arm around ourselves, and maybe we picture our wise self, or if that's hard for us, we picture like a fairy godmother coming and putting an arm around us and being like, you're doing beautifully. Humaning is really hard. I know you're doing the best you can. You are so loved. You are so deserving. We might call upon a spiritual practice and call light into that part of ourselves. we might allow that part to write a letter or to write in our journal and to express like every wretched thing we're feeling. And then we might bring in a higher perspective and say, well, what would love say about this part of me? We have to build a bridge. We have to build a relationship. We can't pretend like that part of ourselves doesn't exist because we don't like it, because it doesn't go away. And if we're not dealing with our shadow stuff and we're not dealing with our unmet parts of ourselves, then what happens is like we're going to live them out. We're going to keep attracting situations into our life that make us deal with them, or we're going to inflict pain on others because we're not doing our own inner healing work. So we build a bridge in any way that we can. How would you build a bridge with a friend that you had a fight with and it's worth making amends? How would you build a bridge to somebody that you want to extend a hand to or extend an olive branch to? We have to do that inside of ourselves. That's where healing begins, and we need to heal. That's part of why we're here. It's part of being whole, and we don't have to be perfect at it. Sometimes we can say, I've got a wound inside of me and it hasn't healed, but we want to acknowledge that it's there. We want to bring love into that space so that it has the potential to just at least be aired out and to seek healing. That is what it is to live whole. That's what it is to live in a more healed way. And when we're aware of who we are, when we're aware of our broken parts, when we're actively trying to build a bridge to them, I call it making peace with parts of ourselves that might feel unpeaceable, bringing love to parts of ourselves that might feel unlovable. When we're doing that, then we now become like the sunlit healers, the healers who got wounded in life, but we're bringing healing into that wound, and it grows our light inside of us. It grows our heart's ability to anchor love, and we energetically shine bright for others and will often feel called to help them begin to heal their wounds. So I try and keep these at 5 minutes. I'm at 7. I'm going to stop talking now, and I'll see everybody back here tomorrow. I wish you much aloha and light. Feel free to join me here daily by subscribing, and you can find more information on my different services and books and courses on all the links up in my little bio thingy. All right, guys, aloha, be well, love all parts of yourself, even the icky, messy, gooey stuff. That's where the light gets in.